What's going on, urban CEOs? Taria Vishnavant here. Look, and before we actually get into the show on today, I have some incredible news, and I wanted to show you guys. Many of you, if you've been a part of the Urban CEO Academy, that means you have joined the Academy and you've been a member for more than 3 months, you're going to start to receive these incredible power packs in the mail. Now, I want you to understand the purpose of the power packs is to be able to give you some power, give you ideas. And so inside of that, we have many of our urban CEOs that have contributed or sponsored some things when it comes to the Urban CEO Network and the Academy. We also have our brand new Urban CEO Academy Planner. Now, it's all wrapped up in this one. That's how it should come. But what it looks like is like this. This is our planner that will help you with being able to log into the Academy and keep up to date on, the training and all the different things from our professors. Inside, we also have some additional things. And one of the things I'm excited to show you guys is these resin designs. So now every single power pack has different designs. These are all handmade, all right? Now, they can be used as paper mates. Some of them can be used as candle holders or coasters or all types of things, right? However, the reason why I wanted to include these in the power packs is to give you guys different ideas of businesses that you can start. A lot of times I always say the reason why in the urban community, why we don't have the level of success that we desire is sometimes because it's not the resources that we lack. It's just we don't know what we don't know. And there are literally people who are creating businesses utilizing these techniques with resin. And so, there's all types of stuff, whether you want to be able to create keepsakes for people. You can do a lot with resin. So for all Academy members, we're going to be having training that's added to the Urban CEO Academy, teaching you guys about resin. And then, of course, all the other goodies that go, inside. I'll put this one back over here. That go inside the power pack, including reading material, all types of stuff. And if you want to contribute to the Urban CEO Power Pack, you have a product that you want to get out there in front of people, let us know. Hit us up. Just simply go to info@urbanceonetwork.com. But other than that, y'all, we have an incredible guest for today's show. I am so excited about this brother. All my fellas in the house. Yes, we're bringing men on the show too, because guess what? Men are also urban CEOs. And so I'm super excited about this king that we're going to interview. For anybody that wants to know about getting into the radio industry, okay, into the radio world, radio personality, this gentleman has his own network. So make sure that you guys stay plugged. But let's go ahead and get to our first set of commercials and an opportunity for you to connect with some of our ambassadors. So let's go ahead and get this show started, and I'll see you guys on the next go round, right? See you on the next go round, all right? Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Taria Vishnavant, and I wanted to just jump up here real quick and tell you, have you heard about the Urban CEO Network? Darling, if you have not heard about Urban CEO, then you need to make sure that you jump on board. Right now, we have a special so that you can actually be a part of our Urban CEO Academy, which is our monthly membership program, where not only do you get exclusive access to events, discounts, and things of that nature, but you also get training that's designed to help you to grow your business. Right now, you can join for 7 days for free and see what we're all about. All you need to do is go to urbanceoacademy.com and check us out. For real. Like, we're the fastest growing organization right now, designed to help men and women that come from the urban community that want to grow in business, that want to grow in their career, or you simply just want to be able to grow in your life. Urban actually stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. So come over here, check us out, join. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. 7 days free. You have really, it's a win-win situation, so you can see what we're all about, all right? So join. I look forward to seeing you guys there. I'm talk to you later. Deuces.
Hey everybody, my name is Deshonda Jennings, and I teach women how to turn their love for children into cash. Connect with me at www.ittakesavillage2.org. Now, Urban CEO has the Ultimate Conference coming up on November 14th and 15th with daily giveaways. Giveaways include cash, digital gifts, physical gifts like microphones, webcams, and more. All the tools to help you expand your business and or career. Now, registration is absolutely free, but we only have 100 seats. To register, go to www.urbanceonetwork.com today. Now, are you a business owner and you want to promote your business to thousands? Urban CEO has packages for any kind of budget. Now, for the tea on how to get your business in front of thousands, email promotions@urbanceonetwork.com. Now, once again, y'all, I'm Deshaunda Jennings, and I teach women how to turn their love for children into cash. Connect with me at www.ittakesavillage2.org.
Hey, guess what, y'all? As real as it gets, it's on Ice Cold TV Television Network every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern on any Roku TV, any Roku device, or you can tune in at IceColdTVTelevisionNetwork.com. Don't miss it, baby.
Just out here jogging and exercising.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hope y'all having a great day so far. This is your boy Deuce. I'm the owner of Ice Cold TV Television Network. You can catch me at IceColdTVTelevisionNetwork.com. We're on all Roku televisions, no matter what brand. You can catch us on Roku device. Also, my IG page is Ice Cold TV News. Facebook, Ice Cold TV. I've been given a task today for the quote of the day. All right, so here we go. The quote of the day is, to achieve the impossible, you have to believe the impossible. All right, y'all got it? All right, this your boy Deuce, coming live at y'all. Peace and blessings, much love, and I'm signing off. All right, later.
Will Roundtree, Twyla Portis, Carla Beatles, Orlando Haynes, Dr. Jasmine Zapata, Andrea Williams, Dr. LaTanya Jackson, Kitten Gray, Brian Keith Bailey, Isabel Rojas, and then we have Micro. We have Annette Bryant, as well as Dr. Stevie Aisha Mills. What do all these people have in common? My name is Taria Vision Avant, and since 2014, I've helped more than 5,000 speakers, coaches, and network marketers to write books to grow their business. Look, this is the best time more than ever to actually finally get that book done. So if you want to join my free masterclass and learn more about how I can help you to get your book done, go to abookinthe30days.com. I hope you join me. We actually have an intensive book camp coming up very soon. So I hope that you pull up on us and join me. All right. So abookinthe30days.com, and I'll see you there. Deuces. Hey, Urban CEOs, Taria Vision Avant here, and we're back again for another incredible show with another incredible VIP guest. Now, I'm going to tell you guys one of the things that, I told our executive coordinator, Chanel, that we are definitely looking for more people who are running for different positions when it comes to our country, especially our local communities, states, cities, etc., etc. And so different positions. One of the things that I was sharing is that I think some of the biggest challenges that we have, especially within the urban community, is that a lot of times we don't even understand who we voting for. I'm not going to lie, y'all. There's been times where I've gone to the polls and I will pick someone based off of a name because I don't even understand necessarily what the position is. However, when we cry and we are upset about what's going on within our own states, some of the laws that need to be passed, it really boils down to what's taking place locally and having an understanding for these different positions. And so I'm extremely excited about our guest today. I want to tell you a little bit about her. First of all, her name is Sandy Nurse, and she's a community organizer running for New York City Council District 37. And we will definitely have a conversation about what all of that entails. So you guys make sure that you stay tuned and take some notes. She is also an Afro-Latina born in Panama to an immigrant father and raised by a single mother. She comes from a multicultural family with siblings who were born and raised in Puerto Rico, and she's a proud auntie of 10 nieces and nephews. Look, she's got a lot of other great things as well. Founder of I don't know if you're supposed to say BK Rot or BKROT, but she'll tell me about that. Co-founder of Mayday Space, direct action organizer, and carpenter. Y'all, let me tell you something. As your city council member, I want you to understand she's going to fight to keep people in their homes, create protections for our immigrant neighbors, and help build a healthy and sustainable future. Guys, I want you to give it up for none other than our VIP guest of the day, Miss Sandy Nurse. Well, look, all jokes aside, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us here today. I am extremely grateful for you just taking the time out. I know you're extremely busy, and to share with our urban CEOs a little bit about who you are. So if you could, one of the things that I always ask all of our guests is to share with us, you know, we gave a little bit of your bio, but share with us, how did you get to the point where you decided that you wanted to run for council? And how do we properly say it? Do we say for politics, for council, all this stuff? When did you make that decision? How did you get to this place?
Yes. So one, thank you so much for having me on and for all the hype up. That's amazing. Such good energy. So I guess we say you run for office or you're entering politics. And in this situation, it's running for city council. And to be honest, you know, I was asked to run. I am someone who really never imagined myself in politics. It was not in my plan. I'm somebody who has been working to build nonprofits, building community spaces, opportunities for our youth to have jobs at livable wages, and was somebody who really kind of cut my teeth getting involved in social justice movements here in New York City. And so being in politics directly from the inside was certainly not something that I imagined for myself. But I had a lot of encouragement from people in the community who said, hey, your leadership style is great. You're doing a lot of great work. We see that you care about this community, and we think you would be really great to represent the many different communities that are within this district. And so, you know, as a woman of color, I don't come from intergenerational wealth or a political family or a dynasty. You know, my parents were in the military. My dad came here as an undocumented person. My mom joined the Navy when she was 17. You know, I come from a very lower middle class, working class background. It took me a long time to say yes. And it was a lot of encouragement. But ultimately, what really made me say, okay, let's do this is, I've been working with young people for about a decade. I've been building in this community for about a decade. And what I realized is that the people who were representing this community were not being accountable to the community. And so we made a decision to run a campaign that was only taking money from people, not from businesses or corporations or real estate, just people who are, just working every day, folks who are just trying to put food on the table, folks who, worried about getting school supplies for their kids and, have dreams and ambitions about their children doing better than they did, right? And that's how I came. Like, my parents were always harping on education, harping on don't be like us, you gotta do better than us, that's how it is. And so I said, I felt like this is something I can do. I think I could do it well. I love people. I love building with people. And so I said, I think we should go for it.
So that's really, really exciting. So first of all, I just want to commend you on, stepping into that position. I know that when you step into a position of running for any kind of a position, it kind of can open up doors for a lot of stuff. So it makes you real vulnerable. If you could, Sandy, tell us a little bit about, what would your particular responsibilities be as a city council member? Is that how you say it? Or city council member? Okay, yes. Yeah. What are your particular like responsibilities?
Yeah. And it's a great question because so many of us don't actually know, you know, and it's okay that we don't know these things because it's hard. And we have so many other things going on. We're just trying to pay bills and like get to work and get our kids out the door. Like it's fine. But you know, in New York City in particular, city council members, one of their biggest things they do is pass the city budget. And that has, you know, very real impacts on everyday people in their lives in terms of money that's available for after school programs, money that's available to support public transportation, money that's available for housing issues, playgrounds, all of your quality of life issues where the way you move through your day, the way you move throughout your community, the city council is the body that allocates money to the different agencies and programs that are, you know, creating a community. Yeah. And so that's the main thing is like pass the budget, right? And then the second thing is they determine how land is used. And you know, I have a sister who lives outside San Antonio in Carn City, so it's definitely not like it is over here in New York. But in New York, every single square foot of this city is a high commodity, right? It's like we have an island, and so like everything is worth so much money. And so land use and how that land is zoned, whether it is for commercial use or manufacturing use, that is something the city council can decide on. Gotcha. So if we get huge luxury condominiums in a place that people can't afford it, that is something the city council decided on. And so it's a very big responsibility in a city where the cost of living is so incredibly high, and so many people who are Black and brown or immigrant are just like really just struggling to stay here for their children who have grown up here to stay here. And so it's a very big responsibility to be a city council member here. Okay,
absolutely. And I guess I never thought about it like that as far as like the land in New York versus like here in Houston is so spread out, like super spread. But yeah, I can get it where every single area does count. Okay, well now Sandy, let's talk about this because I was having a conversation the other day. Listen, I'm on Facebook. I don't know if I could ever run for politics because I say too much. I don't know. I run my mouth too much.
It's a new time. It's a new day.
It is a new day.
You never know.
Okay. Well, I was online and I was talking about the fact that, you know, nowadays everybody's like, you got to vote, you got to vote, you got to vote. And sometimes, you know, we're put into a position where, yes, we have to vote. And everybody's saying, you know, you got to vote for the lesser of two evils. But what I think that a lot of people are missing, Sandy, is that it's not only just about that presidential vote. It's also about the local vote, right? So many of us, we're going to vote for the big ticket. But again, there's a long list of other people that are, you know, that are responsible for different things. So how important is it that we do have an understanding for what's taking place within our own local cities, states, et cetera, when it comes to voting?
I mean, this is like the big question, right? This is the big real crux of the issue is that there's a lot of attention on the national, the presidential. There's so much effort and money put around who's going to lead our country. And you know, in this particular moment, it's very consequential what happens, right? What happens in November is going to have, you know, either devastating consequences or it will at least give us a holding space to build on, right? And so, you know, for some people it's not an inspiring situation, and for other people it's like, okay, hold your nose, do it, or whatever, you know, like everyone has feelings about it. But I would say, you know, as someone who has largely been for most of my life a disaffected, disillusioned voter, I never really knew what politicians did. I didn't really know how they related to me. I didn't understand how they were a part of my community. what I've learned through building projects or like building nonprofits is that actually the local elections are very, very important. City council or municipal government, so that hyper local, small scale government in your town or in your county, they are determining so much about your daily life, where how your children get to choose which school they go to,
Right.
again, how the land in your community is developed, to business districts, to what impacts small businesses, to how childcare laws are done. I mean, everything gets filtered down to the local level. And so, even more important than the national election is really your city or your county or your state elections. They have so much more power over our daily lives, and yet they are so uninteresting
Right.
to everyday people. And I get it, but they also happen, state and local elections happen more frequently.
Yeah.
So you have more opportunities to decide, whereas at the national, we're often in there for a very long time. And at the state level, there's just more of a chance to influence people who are making rules and deciding how we live. Our rights, all of these things that are happening around the country, the Black Lives Matter movement, everything that's happening, the people who have real power are at the state and local level.
That and it's so important that we do understand it. I think, really, our world is fed through media. And so whatever the media puts its attention on is what most of us will put our attention on. And so we don't really ever push our local officials. We don't talk much about what's going on locally until, for example, the Black Lives Matter movement, until somebody in their state is dealing with something where they've lost a loved one. And it's an unfortunate situation, especially within our communities. This is a lot of times how we've learned to handle things. Like you said, many times we're just so busy trying to pay the bills that the only time that our attention is thrown off is when it's literally something that is traumatic. And so, it's unfortunate, but listen, at least now more people are listening. And this is why I'm so excited about these opportunities or these times, because we're now informing ourselves a little bit more. What do you say to the person that does want to understand a little bit more about their local officials, or even not even just on a state side, but national officials, just understanding what is a senator, like where should someone go to get that information?
Yeah. Right. And it's hard because they don't necessarily teach this, right, in school.
Nope.
Not taught about local government. We're taught about these founding fathers like forever ago.
Right.
Problematic, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're not taught these things. But, here, at least in New York City, and I'm not sure how it is in Houston, we have a local community board. There's often like a school council or some kind of body that is allowing parents and educators to have input over their schools. There are usually political clubs. So whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, there's oftentimes clubs, a Democratic club or something, where you become a member, and they are generally a place where you can start to get involved and meet people who are, very excited about the political system or the political process. But generally your, state or municipal, clerk building. I'm trying to think of like, even in the most like rural space, like you've got the town clerk office, you've got your, you've got your city halls. These are places where you can start to look and say, who represents me?
Yeah.
Who is someone that has power over what happens in this community? All the way down to how land is used, to how much money goes to different programs that I benefit from.
Right.
You really have to ask yourself, who is in that seat, and do they work for us? Or who are they actually working for? And, if it's someone who's not working in your interests, there's a lot of different ways you can get involved in changing that reality. And it takes work, and it's not always, glamorous. Oftentimes it's a lot of hard work, to get people into office is an incredible amount of energy and resources, depending on where you are. So it's, self-education is a first step, but, also there are a lot of resources available at your kind of state or local municipal kind of like clerical or bureaucratic offices that should be able to help point you towards at least knowing, who represents you and what exactly can they do for you.
Okay, so sorry. Look, my dog is down here making noise, child. He breathing hard. Listen. Look, this is our life now, okay? Listen, okay, now can I be transparent, Sandy? Look.
Go ahead.
You done told the urban folk to do all this stuff. They like, girl, whoop, this is and I think, unfortunately, that's one of our biggest, it's like, this sounds like way too much. And this is why, I'm going to be honest, why I have made it my business to try to bring more people like yourself that are running for different positions on this show, so that, listen, at least if you connect with Sandy and you're in New York or you know some people in New York, you got to make sure that this woman gets up on that position, okay? So if you don't mind, I want to get a little bit up in your business, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
What, now, tell me how to pronounce this, but what is BK ROT?
BK Rot.
Big Rot?
BK Rot.
BK Rot. Okay, talk to us a little bit about BK Rot.
Yes, absolutely. Happy to. So BK Rot is a youth jobs program, and it was about green jobs. And in New York City, there's a lot of interest, emphasis, attention, even political movement around fighting climate change and building our city in a way that can withstand climate shocks. We've had Hurricane Sandy. We've had a lot of stuff happen in New York City, so we're very vulnerable. We're we're a seaside city. Yeah. And unfortunately, these movements around environmentalism and fighting climate change are often led by white people who have a lot of degrees, are often coming from positions of wealth, and they've, their families had wealth. So these are folks who have a lot of privilege. And I was feeling like, for New York City, the majority of people in New York City are people of color. Yeah. Young people who are going to be facing this crisis are actually the largest demographic in this city, and yet they are absent from all of the places and tables where we are talking about how to build the city that will survive. Right. It will survive climate change. And so we created a program that was trying to empower young people from this community who maybe weren't college bound or just wanted to get involved in issues around sustainability. And we created a job program where we had them collect food waste. So your kitchen scraps, things like that, you're making a salad, you got extra little ends of cucumbers and things like that, banana peels. They would collect that for a fee from houses, bring it to a space, and transform that material into fertilizer. And that fertilizer is used and then given to other urban farms and urban gardens. And we were able to pay them $15 an hour at the time when the minimum wage of New York City was like maybe $8 and some change. So we were able to say, not only do we believe that young people of color are the future workers that are going to fight climate change and build the sustainable future we're all talking about with Green New Deal and all this stuff, but we're going to pay them well. Wow. Because it's hard work and it's critical work and it's not a hobby. This is things that have to happen if we're serious. Yeah. BK Rod is really meant to be an intervention and also a tool for young people to have access to a job, particularly where maybe they're not really sure where they want to go to school, or they're nervous about taking on college debt, and maybe they just want time. And so we're a home for them to kind of experiment with their first job, and also be a part of a bigger story about how New York City is really fighting climate change.
So now you also have another company as well. You're a co-founder, and by the way, I love that. Let me go back to that. You know what you reminded me of? You remember the movie Back to the Future,
Yes.
where he would take off. So you're like, oh, banana peels. I was thinking like, okay, I see what you're going, where you're going. Sorry, I'm a movie buff, right? But
Okay.
I love that concept and I love that idea. Is that something that you plan to expand outside of New York and make it something more national?
So it actually, I mean, particularly during COVID, it has very much expanded. And, we're part of a national network. So this is happening. We were the first group to do this in New York City, but this is actually happening in many places. Baltimore,
Okay.
places in upstate New York, in Massachusetts, California, Georgia. I mean, there's a national network of people creating businesses around organic waste and food waste, and a lot of women as well.
Okay, well, we Urban CEO need to plug in. We're going to plug in to see what we could do as well. Okay, so co-founder of Mayday Space. Let's talk about what that's all about.
Yeah. So, so as I alluded to earlier, New York City has, only so much land, and everybody wants to be here. And everybody can't all be here, right? Like everybody has, every piece of land is highly valued, and every square foot costs a lot of money. And what are, the four of us who started Mayday Space, there was two folks who really kind of came up with the idea, and then there was the four of us. We came together as a team. Our mission was really to say, there's a lot of social justice movements here in New York City. We're a very, very fortunate city. We have so many movements here on everything. There's a movement for everything. And unfortunately, many of these movements do not have places, like physical spaces to gather,
Right.
to create together, to host their events, to host their meetings or their retreats or their conferences. And we said, well, we want to create access to physical space for these movements. So we want as many groups as possible, grassroots groups. You got a garden club, you got whatever, like whatever you're doing. If it's about positive social transformation, this is home. And we opened up, we partnered with a church, an Episcopalian church, that actually was really going under. It didn't have a lot of money. The congregation has, over the years through gentrification and different forces have really spread out, and they were looking to sell or demolish the building. And so we said, well, wait, we're not a church, but we can run community programs, and we can help create a system where people from the community can be a part of this space. And so we were able to do is support the church. So they didn't have to shut down. They didn't have to, sell their building and become luxury condos. The congregation is still able to meet, and also community was able to use this facility, which is like, churches here in New York have a lot of space. They don't pay taxes, so they have a lot of space. And this was we had access to 3 stories, big hall, classrooms, 2 kitchens. We made an art space. And so we were really able to, and still are, just having as many community groups be in there, and they use it all the time. And so our mission was really just to say, this is a home for you. You can use this project was designed so that we can have the infrastructure for you to come together, build with each other, build local power, and take that power and put it out in the street or wherever it needs to go. Whatever you're working on, you were able to do it here. And so that's what Mayday has been about.
I love that concept. That idea is just very powerful. You know, I'm one of the things I always share when it comes to us in the urban community. I think a lot of times we become addicted to our own labor, and the reason why that's relevant to what Mayday Space is all about is because you don't have to try to do it all by yourself. You can partner with other organizations who have some like-minded, ideas behind what they're trying to do and build something so much more powerful. So I love that idea. Not just a regular co-working space. Like, no, we're over here all with a mission to do something within the community, and you're impacting a church that's out here doing something for the community. I think that's really, really powerful. Well, look, we could sit here all day and talk. I really appreciate you being here. I've got 2 more questions, okay?
Yes.
First question. When it's all said and done and you have lived your life to the fullest, what is it that you want people to remember you for?
Ooh, tall order question. These are no icebreaker questions.
I know. I'm gonna get straight to look.
No, it's great. I mean, I think I come from a family that is still on its healing process, in its healing journey. My father was married 5 times. I have brothers and sisters everywhere. There was a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, domestic violence in my family. And so I am someone who has every single day, like, I don't know what happened and how I got so lucky, but as a little girl, I always said, I want to get past this. And I always just would imagine like who I wanted to be. And I always said I wanted to be like a happy, healthy, loving, caring person that had many people in my life. And I just woke up every day and put one foot forward and walked myself to this person that I've been so fortunate and privileged to be able to like make. Yeah. And for me, I've always wanted to be, and why I've worked with young people who are in their teenage years, is because I've just always wanted to be the person that I just needed when I was lost and confused and didn't have confidence and just felt like I just didn't know what the world was about. And so, I guess when it's all said and done, I just want people to know that I really have so much love in my heart for people. I love people who are, everybody's walking wounded. That's what my mother always used to say, everybody's walking wounded. And I just always want to, tell people who are hurting that there are people here with you. Like there's always somebody there with you. And so I don't know, at my funeral, I want to have a turn up. I want people to have a good time.
Right.
Like crazy. And also like she had the biggest heart and she loved everybody.
Absolutely. I love that. Oh, good. Okay. All right. So now, urban, we actually have an acronym for that. So urban actually stands for, and I'm going to repeat it, but what I want you to do is tell me of the acronym, the different ones, which one do you feel fits you best, okay? So urban stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. Now, if you feel like you fit a couple, that's fine too. So again, and then tell us why do you feel it, that you fit those. So, you already remember? Go ahead.
I'm like, I know.
I bet you I know which one it is because I heard you.
I'm 100% action oriented. Words are words, but I always say like, I'm not gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
And I really believe that it's every day is a whole day. There's so many hours in that day to do things that continue to prove to the people you're with and be with the people that you love them and you're here with them. And so for me, action is always more important than words. I definitely am unapologetic, but I'm always wanting to be with people. So it's like unapologetic, but as long as we're all together, unapologetic, like, I'm here.
Right. Let me be by myself out here unapologetic.
But I love, being in motion and just like doing things. I just love
Yeah.
doing things. Love like, people are like, oh, let's do this thing. It's like, cool, let's make it happen. Like step 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Let's just start,
I'm with you on that. We don't need to sit down and game plan. Let's do it. It sounds great. Let's go. Absolutely. Well, Sandy, it's been a privilege and a pleasure to have you. Guys, you've got to make sure if you are in New York or you know anyone in New York, please make sure that you reach out to them and let them know to get her on that position of the New York City Council in District 37. Sandy, any last imparting words that you would like to leave with our viewers?
I would just say thank you so much for this opportunity. This is like such a pleasant surprise, and congratulations on what you're doing and the message. I looked through your videos and I was like, oh, you're you're really like trying to lift up really good people. So congratulations to you and everything you're doing. And, go out and figure out who represents you, figure out what they can do, and, find ways to get involved. This is a very big year. So everything counts. Everything matters this year. And it's a very important year. So thank you again for this opportunity to be here.
Well, absolutely, Sandy. Thank you for being here. And yes, like she said, everything counts, guys. Don't be around these people that's telling you that your vote don't count. Yes, it does. You have to do something if you want things to change. We can't just sit around and complain. We got to go and move. And if you don't know who you're voting for, take the time to sit down and figure that out. But we already know we have one person in New York that we can all vote for, Sandy Nurse. So make sure that you go out there and vote for her. Again, Sandy, thank you so much. And we plan on bringing more people in front of you guys until we get up to that voting day. So make sure that you stay plugged in. Make sure that you have shared this video, share it to all the people that you know in New York City so that they can know who exactly is going to be up there for District 37. My name is Taria Vision Avant, and this has been another edition of As Real As It Gets TV. I hope that you guys appreciated this. Make sure you leave some comments, any things that you loved about today's show and all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next edition. Until then, I'm gonna holler at you later. All right? Peace.